Morning, I'm two and everyone. Hope you're doing well. Pre-recording this Friday podcast on Tuesday because I will have left and will be in the middle of staff conference. Have you ever wanted to ask Jesus a question? I have lots of questions. I, on one hand, would love to ask Jesus some questions, but Jesus often did not answer the questions the way we might anticipate somebody might answer them. He often answered in very indirect ways. Sometimes it seemed like he's just off, like you're asking a question here and he's off talking over there. Today's story is one of those moments. And it comes to us from a guy named Judas, but not the Judas that we all know, not the Judas that betrayed Jesus, not the Judas that ended up committing suicide and regretting all of his life choices, not that guy. There was actually a second guy named Judas. How unfortunate for him. Judas was a common name back in the day. Then Judas, but he made a point. Not Judas Iscariot, that's the bad guy. Then Judas said, "But Lord, why do you intend to show yourself to us and not to the world? Wouldn't wouldn't it be better if everybody got to see you? Like, why just us?" And on the surface, that's a great question. Like, I might be tempted to ask you a similar question. But here's where Jesus answers indirectly because he wants you to stop and use your mind and ask for help and figure out what is going on with this. And Jesus replied, "Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching." Hmm. But Lord, why do you intend to show yourself to us and not to the world? Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. Why do you intend to show yourself to us and not to the world? My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. Anyone who does not love me will not obey my teaching. And we covered what this meant a few podcasts ago. These words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me. What in the world is Jesus talking about? It sounds like he went off on a completely different discussion, but he didn't. He's actually answering Judas's question about why aren't you going to show yourself to the whole world? He is. He's going to do it through his followers. That's what Jesus is saying. Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. How will the world see Jesus? Anyone who loves me will obey my teaching. How will the world see Jesus? My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. And we're to testify about these things. Anyone who does not love me will not obey my teaching. These words you hear are not my own. They belong to the Father who sent me. Knowing this was our task, Jesus goes on to say this: all this I have spoken while still with you. But the advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you. Oh, and by the way, peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. What would they be troubled and afraid about? Primarily about Jesus is going away. But I also know that this idea of being a witness for God can bring a lot of fear into people's lives. The Spirit of God, the advocate sent by the Father, was there to give us peace in our hearts. He's also there to help us be a witness. We're not out on our own doing it. The connection is the Holy Spirit will remind you of the things that you have heard from the scriptures and specifically from Jesus, and it'll help you do it at just the right moment. I can't tell you how many times this has happened in my life where I'm in a situation and all of a sudden like a Bible verse, sometimes one I haven't even memorized, oftentimes ones that I haven't even memorized. I have read them, I have heard them, I've thought about them, but I haven't memorized them. And the Spirit of God will bring that to my mind. to remind me of that. And specifically, the idea here is that when you're out and about, sometimes the Spirit of God is going to cause you to remember things in a surprising way at a surprising time when you're with somebody. And He does that because how do you intend to make yourself known to the world? By you and I, His followers, talking to other people about Jesus. And the Spirit will be there reminding you the things that Jesus said to help you along the way. So don't let your heart be troubled when you think about sharing Jesus with other people. Don't let your heart be afraid. It's okay. You have the Spirit of God. And we're going to go on to learn things the Spirit of God does in the hearts of people that we're talking to, but we're going to cover that on another day. Lord willing, we'll cover that either Monday or Wednesday in this little mini series on the Holy Spirit. But for today, the question is simple. We've heard it how many times in this podcast? Why do you intend to show yourself to us and not the world? Judas had it wrong. He fully intended to show himself to the world, just not in the way that Judas was anticipating. That's often our problem. We decide ahead of time how a situation will work out, how it needs to work out, and then we tell God, make it work out this way. And then we're surprised when the Father does it in a different way. Judas thought he had it figured out, and he didn't really. But Jesus, in his Jesus way, answered the question directly while appearing to answer the question indirectly. So, lots to think on here today. And I'm going to give you a few extra minutes. We're going to stop at 7 minutes. I'm going to give you a few extra minutes to think about this passage today. And what is the Spirit of God telling you to say? What is He reminding you of from the scriptures and from Jesus' teaching? And who is it He wants you to talk to today? I hope you have a good couple days. And Lord willing, I look forward to seeing you all on Tuesday.